It's nice to get back home and start conference play, begin a new chapter in the American Athletic Conference and start off the right way. Thought our guys stayed the course. It was a back and forth game, and I thought with 5 to 8 minutes left, we missed a couple layups and free throws, and we had an opportunity to get a little bit tight. And I thought our guys just stayed the course, kept battling, found some creative ways to get stops, come up with loose basketballs, and then obviously made the plays down the stretch to win.
In the last 5 minutes of the game, your team outscored ECU 14-1 and had ECU go through a 5-minute drought of not scoring any points. How does it feel to execute perfectly on both sides of the court in that aspect?
We weren't clicking very well offensively in the half court. And, give them credit because they were changing defenses. They had us a little bit off tilt. But I thought our stops allowed us to get out in transition. I think they made a calculated risk to send a lot of guys to the glass, and it worked at times. But when it didn't, we were able to get out. And then I thought our guys made really good plays in transition.
Once you talked yesterday about Elijah getting back, getting open looks. Yeah, his first 3 shots were a little bit contested. He got those 2 threes wide open within 7 seconds of it. And then from then on, he was going to the basket, he was dunking, he was dishing. How did you see that getting him going?
In my mind, I thought he had 2 great looks early that were a little bit out of rhythm. And then I noticed he got out in transition and got a dunk. And then I thought usually with him, if he can get an easy basket, then it usually ignites the other areas of the game. I just thought he looked like he was back to having fun playing ball. He wasn't thinking about what happened last game or what happened last possession. He just, I thought he got lost competing, and I thought his defense was better. I thought he brought a lot of positive contributions to the game, as did John L. And it was nice to have BJ back, being a pest on the ball and making big shots again. So we got contributions from a lot of guys. So that Witherspoon made one of the biggest shots of the game. Greenlee made one of the biggest shots of the game. So just like usual, we had so many guys that stepped up and allowed us to walk out of here with a win against a very good basketball team.
Dusty, on the rare occasions that you guys would lose last year, you guys were really good in the next one. Tonight, obviously, slow start, but there was no panic. There was a lot of poise at the end. What is it about this group that when everything isn't going right, they don't turn into something they're not?
I think it's just the fact that we've over the course of the last couple of years proven that we can find different ways to win. Whether the free throws are dropping, whether the layups are whatever the case, our defense has been stingy enough in the past to get the big stops, which lead us in transition. But I think it's just a belief in each other. They really, when they look in the huddles, they know someone's going to make a play. But also they 21 assists. They really trust each other and look out for each other and support each other, and that's usually a testament to a good basketball team.
Coach, this was, you guys were down 1 point at halftime and ended up winning by double digits. What adjustments did you make at the half to really fire the guys up?
We didn't do anything to fire the guys up. East Carolina played very well in the first half. They made plays, they made shots. We had to make a couple adjustments with our matchups and things like that, but we're going to get everyone's best shot going forward, and hats off to TCU. They earned the first half lead. Luckily, we came out with great energy the first couple minutes of the second half to set the tone.
Elijah said that you guys were, in that last 6.5 minutes, you guys were showing them different looks on defense. Was there like a prevailing principle that you were trying to, maybe that was the purpose of them, or trying to stop the ball, or because they were taking the ball to the basket?
Yeah, we had a couple defensive wrinkles that we've had in, and we practice all fall, and you hope you never need them. And I don't want to divulge the specifics because that's a competitive advantage going forward with what our thought process is. But yes, we had to go a little bit deeper into the toolbox, and fortunately, it worked out well in those situations. But once again, a credit to our guys to be able to do something outside of our daily habits of what we work on every day, and then be able to adjust on the fly. It shows that it's a group that can communicate on the fly and also make decisions and has a high basketball IQ, and that's what our team has.
Coach, you've said in the past that you want to force teams to get points without assists, and then they hit a lot of tough baskets in that first half. When teams are hitting those tough shots, is the game plan to just keep forcing them to make those, or would you want to do something different in the future?
We actually had a spirited staff debate in one of the timeouts because I think in the last 3 or 4 years, there's really never been a game where we felt like, man, they're exploiting what we want to give up. And there were times this year whenever it got to that boiling point where there's a decision to be made, and tonight we didn't want to get to that point because they have such good one-on-one players. They were finding the matchups a little too quickly and effortlessly. So we've got to be able to throw different looks, and we have some more change-ups that we work on. And like I said, hopefully we don't need any of them, that we can sit down and get stops and force tough shots. But it's a little bit different this year where it's almost like it was the year before last, where low percentage shooters are banging in shots. Guys down on the scouting report are having career nights. And that's why our record 3 years ago looked a lot different than it did last year, because that happened frequently. And, so we've just got to find different ways and hope that, those guys down on the end of the bench don't have too many career nights, because those are tough to overcome.
Yeah,
How fitting is it, Steve, that this was the welcome to the American moment? How much does this set the tone for what to expect the next 19 or whatever it is games?
Well, it's a new opponent, so it was cool to see someone new and scout a new program, and I have a lot of respects for Coach Schwartz. He was at Tennessee when we were at Florida and had some battles. But yeah, it's nice just to see new teams, like it was all pre-conference for us to play in these classics and put our guys on the biggest stage, and for us to, it's an honor to be on ESPN 2 for your first conference game and on a Tuesday night in Boca Raton. So, we talk a lot about as a program that there's a lot of options. There are a lot of teams to put on TV, and we feel like our guys are very attractive because people like watching them play, because of who they are as people, and also the way they share the ball, the way they compete, and they're just fun to watch. I enjoy watching them every day.
Coach, I noticed that spirited debate that you were talking about. At least from my perspective, it came with 7 minutes left. I noticed the players had their own huddle, and then you guys looked very philosophical in your own huddle. And then after that huddle, you guys end on a 16-4 run. So I don't know if you can call back to that specific one, but just what are the conversations in those coaches only huddle, and specifically that one, how'd that lead to that 16-4 run?
Sometimes is the stay the course. Sometimes it's try to manipulate a matchup. Sometimes it's do we change defense? Sometimes do we throw a curveball at them and just try to give them something else to look at? So we were weighing all options and just trying to figure out with who we had on the court, is that the best way for us to get one stop and then hopefully get another stop, and then fortunately we were able to do that.
Coach,
You intend to vote in that one?
Yeah, it's usually the way it works. If they all gang up on me, they win. If I can get one or two to side with me, we're going with that.
Brian Greenlee had a very significant performance off the bench, scoring 8 straight points upon his entry to the game, and then making timely three-pointers and timely plays in the second half. How would you evaluate his performance tonight and how he should keep going moving forward?
I thought BJ came in and made some really nice passes. He missed that layup at the end that could have gave him a really nice stat line, which he doesn't care about that. But also a great indication of good, clean living. He hit that one that kind of cracked the back of the rim and kind of laid in, and we joke a lot in practice that when you do that, you're living right. So I think BJ's living right.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys, appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.